Hello, my name is Tyler Good, and this is my final concluding thoughts and opinions video for Leadership 501. So to begin, I really learned a lot in this class as far as just like the different leadership styles and things of that nature. One of the cool things that I liked that I learned, especially because I'm a little bit of a history nerd, I love history, is just how leadership began, like the study of leadership began with Aristotle and Socrates, and the history of management research began not until the industrial age during the late 1800s and early 1900s, which I thought was kind of cool. As far as just like different things about leadership and the research that has been done, one of the coolest things to me, there are actually a lot of cool parts to me, but just to start off was the path goal theory. About just how leaders manage to motivate their followers to accomplish different tasks and the goals that they have set out for them. And they do this by simply just, the book set it out as, they define the goals, clarify the path, remove any obstacles that they might have, and then just provide support to complete this goal. Another cool thing about it was, or that I learned in this class, was the leadership exchange theory, which just conceptualizes leadership as a process on the interactions between the leaders and the followers, which is, I personally think, one of the most important aspects of leadership. It's just that relationship between the two. As far as the different types of leadership, that kind of really hit home with me. One of the first ones that I really got into was just the transformational leadership, as far as just how leaders were able to motivate their followers, and they would do this by using their the emotions, the values, the ethics, the standards, and just the goals that their own people had, that their followers had, and they would just motivate them and push them towards completing those goals by utilizing those things. However, this can be used in a bad way with pseudo-transformational leadership, and the book used Hitler as an example, as far as motivating them to complete a goal which was not exactly the most ethical option or ethical thing to do. The next type of leadership style that really stuck out to me was the transactional leadership, and that's just simply motivating somebody to complete a task by with like a reward. So if the biggest one that I could think of, or the best example, was with like a salesman. They're always wanting to go after those bonuses that they get, or the commission that they get. They sell more, they get more money. And that's a good way to push them to do better. One of the weirdest types of leadership that I saw was the laissez-faire type of leadership, and that was just the removal of themselves altogether from the scenario, or from the group, in hopes that it would just promote a feeling of self-discipline and self-determination, and that they would just take the initiative to complete the tasks themselves. Now, the most important type of leadership, I believe, is servant leadership. And this type of leadership was outlined by Jesus in the Bible, and he called us to live this exact way. So therefore, I think that if Jesus says to do something, we should probably do it, especially considering he's God of everything. This servant leadership is leading by example, and by doing that and just taking yourself and putting yourself in the position of the servant, in the position of the follower, you're able to show others how they should be acting as well, and just providing that example for them. Jesus did this in Matthew 20:26 through 28, when he was talking to his disciples, and he said, "It shall not be so among you." And he was talking about the Gentiles leading over, like using authority to lead over them, or to lord it over them, like their authority. He said, "But whoever would be great among you must first be a servant, and whoever would be first among you must be your slave, even as the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. It's God, Jesus is calling us right then and there to serve others. And then he does it as well, again, whenever he washes the disciples' feet. In John 13, 1 through 17, starting with verse 15, he's, before this, he's washing his disciples' feet. And he says, "For I have given you an example that you should also do just as I have done for you. Truly, truly, I say to you, a servant is not greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent them." And I think that servant leadership is by far the most effective and the best way to lead people and to show people, what you're about and motivate them to accomplish a task, especially whenever this task is glorifying God in the end. So yeah, that is what I learned. Those are my concluding thoughts for Leadership 501. Have a blessed day.